Good day, everybody. This is En Route, and today we're going to be talking about the ugly girls. My ugly girls. You're not actually ugly. You're malnourished, you're abused, and you haven't had the proper love and nourishment in your life to flower and bloom at the capacity that would make you feel the confidence you need to succeed in this world in a way that is substantial for a woman's body. As a woman, you have to understand some of the horrible manipulative things that men do in order to use female sexual energy. I had a guy I was talking to. I went on a date with him. It didn't go anywhere, but we were having a conversation about how the guys will be matching with ugly girls just to have sex with them and throw them away, right? And I was okay because I was one of the pretty girls or whatever, right? But the point of the matter is that these men actively use women that they find to be less attractive, and they get them to the state of getting into bed because they have low self-esteem or whatever the case might be, and they just absolutely use them. And so whenever a man sits there acting like he doesn't understand certain things or doesn't know certain things, it's 100% weaponized incompetence. These men know exactly what they're doing, and they wouldn't pull this shit with their buddies. They do it with you because they love to play on the empathy of women. Now, my so-called ugly girls, which are actually not ugly girls, but beautiful, neglected women who need a chance and somebody to come into their life and say, hey, you need to take care of yourself. You need to become the best version of yourself. You will become a better version of yourself the less and less you focus on men. I am on my abstinent journey. It's been almost 4 years. And it is literally the best thing I've ever done for myself because it's allowed me to keep my energy clear and not muddied by men who have bad intentions and just want to use my energy for their selfish gain. As a woman, even as a so-called ugly woman, you shouldn't be giving it up to anyone. You should be protecting yourself and your energy and your soul from a lot of these essentially vampire men that want to just use you. And this is the thing. The guy felt confident enough to say it in front of me. Just imagine what they're saying to their buddies. And so I just want you to listen very closely to what they're saying because they love to, they love to tell on themselves, even when they don't think they're telling on themselves. And a lot of the ideas that they have conflict with each other depending on what kind of women they're in front of. And at the end of the day, even if you are that beautiful woman, how, with men's mentality the way it is, can you even be 100% sure that loyalty is even a thing? And while I know this whole polyamory thing and all this stuff is so mainstream nowadays, it is not conducive to a family unit or a proper way of living, And I get it, back in the day, maybe we did it for survival because of whatever. I hear, and I know I've met men, I'll probably have mentioned this again in another video, but men love to use the excuse about how kings had a bunch of concubines and they had a whole, harem of women. But we realize that is because women had no rights. Women were most of the time just slaves and indentured servants. The best option for any woman would be to get put into a harem where she wouldn't actually have to mess with a guy very often because he had so many women to pick from. And in that case, you don't actually have a relationship with a man. You have a relationship with the women around you. So it also invalidates having to give him your energy because it's it's the same thing. He's not having respect for a single woman. He's using them as, oh, look, I like this tomato, I like that tomato, oh, look at this apricot, oh, I'll take that too. And you're just objects and toys for them to just sit in a room and entertain each other. And then whenever he's ready to roll over and mess with you, well, then great. And so that was never conducive to a proper life. And as we look in history, it was absolutely horrible, the conditions that women had to go through, had to deal with, and had to be in. So when a man says, oh, but they used to have harams and blah, 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 it's like, well, women used to have absolutely no rights or ability or autonomy over themselves, and our free will was completely taken away from us. So, if we consider these things when messing with certain men and dealing with the whole polyamory mindset, I know it works for some people, but I just feel like if you want a family, if you want a future, if you truly want a kingdom that is going to be prosperous and not having the energy muddied, then it's better to have a power team, a power couple, not a power polyamorous thing going on. Because when a man and a woman are made for themselves, when you go into nature, you don't see the red jay and all his chicks in his little harem nest. It's they mate together, they take care of each other, they do it together. It's one for one. And so if we understand that not even in nature do they have harams like that, except for like chickens, but that's because we make it like that. It doesn't actually make sense. I have chickens, okay? And even though there is a whole polyamorous thing happening, my chickens are actually quite monogamous. They have their person that they're with all the time, or their chicken that they're with all the time. And while yes, of course, if you have them all living together in one space, one male and like a bunch of other hens or whatever, they're obviously going to mate, obviously, right? Because that's just their lifestyle. But in the wild, it wouldn't be like that. And so when we consider these things, when we consider how our biology and consider that we're biological creatures, the way that we go about relationships is absolutely unnatural. And it is to benefit the male. It's only to benefit the male. And it's not even to benefit their psychology. It's actually it's a degeneration of their psychology, because they believe that they can spread themselves so thin between so many women and still be successful. I tell you, the men that cheat the most and mess around the most and play around with girls' hearts the most, they don't have their highest potential reached, because their sexual energy is also muddied with so many different people as well. And while they can steal the female's energy to gain a burst of energy at that moment, they're not actually directing that energy for anything productive for society. They're using it for personal gain. So this is just a lot to consider. Now back to the whole ugly girl thing. If you think you're ugly, if you have low confidence, that is the absolute worst time for you to be out dating guys. You can only date guys when your psychology is right and strong, and you can take these mofos down with your brain. Because at the end of the day, if you're not healed to a certain extent and you're not prepared, these guys are going to eat you for breakfast, hun. All right? Get your mind together. Get your psychology straight. Eat right. Clean your face. Do those facials, girl. Get yourself into that goddess energy before you put yourself out there and allow for men to muddy your energy even more and cause you to degrade even more. You can make anybody ugly by neglecting the shit out of them. And so what I'm saying is, hun, nourish yourself, love on yourself, and give yourself an opportunity to gain that confidence you need to actually put yourself out there without feeling bad when it doesn't go the way you planned. Because if you allow for these men to have that much power over your psychology, over your heart, it will destroy you. And that's a lot of the times it's sad, but that is their intention. They want to destroy you, because it's not only that they steal your sexual energy, but they can also steal your energy. Like some men are fueled by the negative energy that they're able to create in women, and they get amused by it, and then they get a kick out of it. You know, a lot of women don't realize that men will provoke negative energy out of you so you can focus all that energy onto them, and then they can steal that energy, transmute it, and use it for something bad, right? So it's not just sexual energy that they're transmuting all of your energy, and in any way that they can, right? And so that's why when you're around certain people, you might feel drained, and then around other people, you might not feel anything, and around other people, you might feel great. And so paying attention to what you feel like let's say you wake up, you went on a date, you wake up the next day, and you feel like, oh, why do I feel like shit? Well, he probably was siphoning some of your positive energy, and you were getting some of his negative energy, right? And so also understanding the guys that you're with and how you can actually get some of their bad energy if they do have bad energy, and it can affect your energy field, right? You know, we always talk about our magnetic field goes about 8 feet outside of us, right? Everybody has a magnetic field. You are magnetic. You are energy, right? And so if we understand that as women, that we're not just these faces that we walk around with, but the energy that is inside of us, then we can maneuver properly in this very strange world that we did not create for ourselves. So I want to leave you with that, ladies. I think you all are beautiful, and I think we all are just misunderstood, and this world wasn't made for a woman, but we can do our best to start to make change so that it can be made for a woman as well. All right, this is En Route, and I'm out. Y'all have a great day.